I figured it was time to do a plug for my other active channel. I think a lot of people have guessed that I ran this. I've been saying it like in comment sections or that kind of thing. But for a while, a lot of people thought Beckloff ran it or one of Aurini's other detractors. Or they kind of misunderstood because I had kind of a joke going where I said my good friend ran this, which is like a reference to how Jim said like my good friend Mr. Anti-Bully ran is my Twitter. Or no, not no. My good friend Mr. Anti-Bully isn't my Twitter, but send it to him and he'll forward it to me. So that was kind of the joke, but I'm okay coming out and saying that this is my channel. So the title Davis Aurini, the Sigma Supreme, refers to the fact that he calls himself a Sigma male and he's obsessed with the concept. Also, the Sigma Supreme is obviously a reference to the Sorcerer Supreme because Aurini is obsessed with Marvel movies. He talks about Marvel movies for upwards of like 30 minutes in basically every podcast. He's completely and totally obsessed with them, even though, as he says, he's never actually watched one. But in one of the many wonderful clips you could find on this channel, he explains that he's so smart he doesn't need to watch any of the videos. So why did I make this? I always liked the DSP clip channels, and I always kind of liked the archive channels. And I always wanted to do something kind of similar just for the experience of it. So I find them kind of an interesting concept. And I kind of viewed it as a compromise because people were criticizing me, I think correctly, for doing like endures of Aurini streams and just making fun of him. And they were like, it's unchristian, you shouldn't hit a man when he's down, that kind of thing. And I kind of got that. So the compromise was I just put up clips of him. So he streams on Twitch now, so he puts out maybe 3 streams a week. So I re-upload those here. Like this week we had Just Surfing on the Waves of History, Fear is Now a Virtue, and then he had one with the Large Hadron Collider. So I put those up here, and if I can find anything older, like I have the clip of him saying he knows all the keyboard shortcuts. I have one where he calls heterosexual people breeders. I have both versions of the Sarkeesian effect here. Just any kind of old videos I can find. So I have the full podcasts. I also have old Aurini videos. And then I do clips. So this is, I guess, the closest thing that can come to being slander. And I think Aurini's like called this indirectly slander, when it's literally the most slanderous thing you can say is that I put snarky titles on them. Like, Aurini is a true hero and part of the 0.01%. Or like, let's see, Aurini laments the removal of opium from public consumption. But even then, a lot of these are like just directly like what he says. Aurini gives a long review of Joker, a movie he refuses to watch. Like, that's literally just what the clip is. Aurini explains Iron Man and complains about how there is no reason for him to get a suit. Like, that's just a direct description of what the video is. But some of them get, I guess, a bit more, like, Aurini goes on a lonely, drunk, and depressive rant. So, like, his videos are unwatchable because so much of it is just him, like, I don't know, just rambling on incoherently. And a lot of his takes are just the most, like, basic bitch obnoxious thing possible. But it's fascinating. Aurini's such a fascinating character. Like, his podcasts are kind of like Schrodinger's cat, in that they could either be the most fascinating thing ever made or the most boringest thing ever made, but no one knows because, like, no one watches them. And I just kind of wanted to preserve this because it is one of the, like, more interesting, he is one of the more interesting personalities on the internet. And there's just, like, so much deep lore, and he just puts all this stuff out. So it's like, I have other stuff on here. Like, I have the Free Folk podcasts. I have, like, the Sarkeesian Effect trailer. I'll steal things from other people, that kind of thing. If anybody has any old Aurini videos saved, if you could, like, send me them, like, I don't know, on Google Drive, or if you could contact me, because because I've just been trying to kind of make an archive of a lot of his stuff. Just because, like, a lot of people want to see it and want to kind of, like, get the deep lore picture. Um, and that sort of thing. So I do go through and I clip some of them. I don't always have time because, like I said, he produces, like, 4 to 6 hours of content a week, and sitting through it and like clipping it. I normally have it on in like the background, and if he says something like crazy, I'll clip that and put it up. But yeah, I don't always have time to do all of it, so I do have like a bunch of additional stuff like queued up. I just don't put out everything at once to try to avoid spam. But I kind of saw this as a compromise because it's not. I don't think it's like direct. Well, it's not slant. It's literally just posting clips of him talking, and I guess you could say I edited the clips, but he does his show in segments, so I normally post most or all of the segments. Like he'll take a question, he'll answer it after like over a couple minutes, and then he'll switch to another topic. So most of the time, it's literally like the entirety of the segment or most of the segment. So I don't really consider this slander. The closest thing is just me doing like, well, Aurini's so smart he doesn't need to watch movies to have seen them. Okay, well that's literally what he said. I'm just trying to find one. A brief, bizarre story of Aurini getting arrested. I guess whenever I call him cringe, um, a race war is better than mandatory vaccines. Yeah, that was a direct quote. Like, there's some amazing, crazy stuff in here. Um, just that he like makes up. Like, it's fascinating. Like, we have Aurini's epic sock hunt leads to an existential crisis. We have Aurini will spend the next 5 to 20 years leading a civil war against the Canadian government. Like, he literally like said that. Uh, I clip it whenever he gets some sort of, oh look at this. Aurini's 7 minute rant about how bad Dragonlance is. Um, yeah, the one where he talks about how Marvel movies are like trannies and he has repressed sexual desires for both. Aurini compares D&D gnomes to Jews. I don't know, like most of these are literally like he talks about like dodging snipers and stuff like that, and how he has like he's shell shocked from the war. Yeah, I have like Lust in the Time of Heartache. Him complaining about grain whiskey's degenerate. That kind of stuff. I try to boost the audio on these, but it's kind of hard, just because Aurini is the Catholic Batman. Screw you! I'm going to compare everything to Fallout. He literally. I should put quotation marks on more of these. But yeah, maybe I'll do a video sometime where I just clip together like the best ones that I've managed to find, because there's like a lot of them. So yeah, this is the alternate channel. Please subscribe if you want some Aurini related content. If you don't even know who Aurini is, I'd still probably subscribe, because it's fascinating. Just the level of like insanity you get multiple times a week. And I do post some of his historical stuff, which is kind of fascinating in a retrospect. So yeah, God bless. Sub to the other channel. There'll be a link below, and I'll